another exciting episode of Tonight with Zororo, featuring your host, Zororo Makamba, and your DJ, SK. Tonight, Zororo has a one-on-one interview with prominent human rights lawyer Beatrice Mtetwa. Beatrice is the recipient of several international awards, including the Inamori Prize for Ethics, the International Press Freedom Award from the Committee to Protect Journalists, and the International Human Rights Award from the American Bar Association section of litigation. You can join us in conversation on Twitter and follow us on @TWZ Show. And don't forget to include the hashtag TWZ. And now, give it up for your host, Zororo Makamba.
Thank you, everyone. Good evening and welcome to another episode of Tonight with Zororo. My name is Zororo Makamba. Now, parents and kids, I need you to pay attention for a second. Have you ever wondered why there's been an increase in foreign products on our shelves and in our stores? Where are they coming from and are they certified? Are you aware of what you're consuming in your bodies? The effects, the composition, the nutrients, the makeup. Ever wondered why there's been an increase in cases of cancer, sugar diabetes, and high blood pressure? Well, we sat down with an expert. Her name is Dr. Esther Tumbare, and we discussed these and other issues.
People are not aware of the content of the products that they buy. People should be looking at the outside of whatever, if it's a box or a bottle, to check what exactly is going into the product. And even then, the people who manufacture the product are not always honest enough to say, whatever has been put into the product. So no, and also we don't have a public that is enlightened enough to know that they should be querying what it is that they're taking in when they buy products. Well, in recent years, we've seen a lot of imports coming into the country, whether it be tinned products, whether it be bottled drinks, but even as things like the meat that we eat every day. And I don't think it's fair to say that all these things are imported. I think some of these things are actually locally made. In past weeks, we've heard about people, feeding antiretrovirals to their chickens or injecting all sorts of things to make the chickens weigh a little bit more, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, it's a mix of, the majority, I think, would be coming from all sorts of places around the world and being imported in the country, but some of it is local products. Yes, there is. There is a regulatory body that is supposed to look at all food that is imported in the country. But as we all know, not all the structures in Zimbabwe are working as they should. And also some products are being brought into the country without the knowledge of these regulatory bodies. I think in an ideal world, the process should be that for any product that is coming in, it must be vetted. Certain consultations must be made, again, with the public health sector to see if these products are safe to be consumed before they are consumed. It should be a product that has been certified and verified by the Standards Association of Zimbabwe. But if it's not a product that has gone through this process, then you should question why it is in the country and why you should be taking it without this verification. And also just simply looking on the cover of the product to see what exactly is in it before you consume it. Because you might be really shocked at some of the things that are, embedded in the actual product. A lot of the products that are in energy drinks, like tartazine, even the caffeine, that is, there's a high content of caffeine in a lot of these energy drinks, and they will probably have a much more negative effect if they are consumed by the younger child than if they are consumed by an adult. But even in the adults, we've had cases of people who've taken, certain energy drinks out there without, wanting to name them, and have really had some really negative effect from them. So we should really watch out for that. As a public health specialist, I would also want to raise the issue of the many herbal products that are currently being distributed in the country. And a lot of them haven't even gone through the processes that they should go through. But, people seem to really, really favor these things. A good example is the antiretroviral treatment that we all know has gone through various stringent, research to show that it actually works, as opposed to herbal products that we don't know the dosage that are being sold in many outlets. And when people really think that if they take these herbal products, then they can stop taking their antiretroviral treatment. And in many, many cases, they become very sick and they die.
Hey, welcome back. Was just reading and catching up on some news. SK,
Yes,
it says investigations have shown that several small-scale poultry producers in the country are mixing ARVs and chicken feed to fast-track the growth of birds for quick sale. Did you know that?
Well, I heard that some time ago, that it's actually now happening here. And I suppose it's the quick buck. People just want to make quick buck.
That's crazy,
But
man.
It's crazy.
Jackson.
Shamra. And the way I love chicken.
The way I love chicken, man.
You'd think twice. You get in a shop and you see the bird is so big and you're like, yeah.
Are you mindful of what you eat though personally? Do you read the label? Do you do any research? Or is it something you're going to start thinking of?
I'm going to start thinking about it,
Yeah.
but I don't usually do that. Just the expiry date is what I look at.
Yeah?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Do you pay for your own groceries? I mean, no, I know you pay for them, but do you go shopping personally for your own groceries?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
I think more people should, because sometimes we just entrust guys to get us some stuff and we end up eating it without actually knowing where it came from,
True.
how long it's been on the shelf, etc., etc. Interesting conversation, and we're glad that the doctor came in and spoke to us about some of these issues that we should start taking seriously. All right, stay tuned for my guest who is coming up shortly. It is lawyer Beatrice Mtetwa, and we'll be right back after this.
Keep it locked on TWZ. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Tonight with Zororo.
My guest tonight is prominent female lawyer, Mrs. Beatrice Mtetwa. Please help me welcome her. Hi, Mrs. Mtetwa.
Thank you very much.
Are you well?
I'm well. Zororo.
I'm not going to be billed for this. Am I?
Well, just wait until tomorrow.
Wait until tomorrow.
Yes.
Are you more successful in for being a female lawyer or just a darn good lawyer? What's the distinction between the two?
Actually, neither. I think I'm more notorious, I would say, than famous for doing all the cases that smart lawyers wouldn't touch.
Mhm.
So I do all cases that people would rather not do, and because of that, I think I've gained some prominence.
Why do they shy away from those cases?
There are some cases that carry baggage with them, financial baggage, political baggage, social baggage, and lawyers don't like stuff that has baggage other than financial baggage.
Is that a bit selfish in that sense when you look at it from that point of view? I understand it's a business, but everyone has a right to a lawyer. Everyone has a right to be heard and to be assisted.
Like every other profession, most of us in law treat it more as really a business to make money. There are very, very few lawyers who look at it from the perspective that actually everybody is entitled to legal representation. And some cases absolutely require that you should have a lawyer as a matter of course because of the consequences of not having a lawyer. So I find myself doing a whole lot more of those kind of cases because I feel very strongly that people are entitled to legal representation as a matter of right.
Sure, and I understand that you pay for the release of unrepresented women every Christmas. Why do you do that?
Who was telling you that? It's supposed to be private information.
Are you forgetting I may be friends with your daughter?
We have Human Rights Day in December, and I feel very strongly that as part of my corporate social responsibility, I should do something that will have practical relief for some people who might be in custody. I've been in jail myself. I know there are lots of women there with young children, some of them foreign. So I always make sure that the first meal on Christmas Day is a meal for those foreign prisoners and their children so that they can also make merry at Christmas. But that's supposed to have been private. My daughter had no right to talk to you about that.
I was just doing my job. Thank you, Tanya. You mentioned that you've been arrested before. Has that been the most difficult part when you reflect on your journey in the corporate world?
Actually, no. I thought it was not a bad thing that I should know where my clients go when I fail them. It also made me see what real prison is like.
What's it like?
It's, I mean, when I went in, I told myself that, look, there's 200 other women here. You are just one of them, and you go in there and have fun with them, if you can have fun in prison. And it really worked well because my 8 days in there moved so quickly. And fortunately, I was allowed to be a lawyer in prison. So I had a queue of women who needed legal representation. And I was able to follow up on that when I came out. So it was, I think every lawyer should actually go to prison for purposes of understanding what happens to our victims when we are unable to get off. You know, doctors have their clients go 6 feet under. We have our clients go to prison, but we have no idea what prison is like. And once you've been in there, you try that much harder.
SK?
Yes, buddy.
If you were to get in a bit of trouble, what are your thoughts so far? Would you call Mrs. Mtetwa to be your lawyer?
Of course, of course. We've heard many things about it, but you know what I'm really interested in, you know, in my line of work, I see a lot of very successful women. They almost struggle relationship-wise. So I would like to know how you keep a balance between your work and your relationship.
I find that it's really the men who don't know how to deal with the so-called successful women. I also find that there are some of us who think that being successful means not doing some of the things that generally women do at home. I like being in the kitchen. If you come to my house, I'm in the kitchen wearing my apron all the time. If I got home and I said to my helper, please make me tea, she'll wonder what has happened to me because I think I should be able to make my own cup of tea. So I think really it's more balancing things up and not thinking that being successful in whatever you do or being prominent in whatever you do means that you should not really then be a regular Zimbabwean woman, you know, I mean. But then some people don't like being in the kitchen. If you'd rather be in the garden than in the kitchen, you should feel free to do that. And your partner should understand that my woman is like this. I do have issues where women want to be now recognized more as the professionals than as women, because I feel the two should really go together. If a man is a successful and prominent man, he just remains a man generally, you know. If he does not like gardening, no one makes issues about it. So it shouldn't be a big issue either way. Just do what you like doing, the way you like doing it. Don't let your professional aspect, you know, swallow your social side.
As a mother, how do you separate the demands of your conscience versus your profession? If, you know, I was to murder someone and you were to take on my case, you know I did it, but it's your right to defend me. How do you deal with that when you're at home and you're alone?
Well, I mean, generally, it isn't quite true that if I know you did it, I will still represent you and say you didn't do it.
Sure.
Ethically, if I know you did it because you've told me you did it, I ought to really recuse myself, because ethically it would be wrong for me to believe that, you know, you did it, but I'm going to court to say you didn't do it.
Sure.
What happens is that generally clients will not actually say I did it, because nobody trusts lawyers anyway.
Yeah.
You can trust them to get them off, but
you get a hunch, right?
But you may not trust them to keep your inner secret. So generally, most clients say, I didn't do it. And I believe what my clients say.
Sure.
And I always go by what they say they did or didn't do. If they say I did it, but get me off, even if I know that I can get you off, I am obliged to withdraw, because there's that element that, you know, if the person says they did it legally, I should advise them to plead guilty and then try and mitigate that their punishment is less.
Mrs. Mtetwa, thank you very much for your time and joining us on Tonight with Zororo.
Thank you very much, Zororo. Thank you.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to Tonight with Zororo.
My name is Tari neGitare. I think it's self-explanatory, Tari and the guitar. It actually started off at a platform that I started called the Acoustic Night, where I used to just go with my guitar and everyone would be like, Tari neGitare rake, unai Tari neGitare rake, and that's where it came from. I think I'm a very innovative and hardworking artist. I really put a lot of passion into what I do. I also feel that my gift has made so much room for me, and I hope that I can do that for other people as well. My music is Afro Soul, which is a fusion of African sounds and soul music. My first album is a self-titled album called Tari neGitare, which is basically a celebration of love, of life. It was me just coming into myself and settling into my own skin and just saying, hey, this is life, this is what I want people to see and know about me. So that's basically what the first album is all about. A lot of projects that I'm working on. I've just registered a trust called My Guitar Trust, which is now housing the Acoustic Night. A lot more tours for artists, a lot more projects in terms of arts and culture development. I'm also working on my second album called Chipo Changu, My Gift, which has been produced by South African Steve Dyer. I'm very excited about that because that's a big risk I've just taken, and I hope that the sound has now sort of molded me. The sound has become more definite. So that's something I'm definitely excited to look to share with the world. Aya orende, aya orende. Aya orende, aya orende. Ese pandino kuona ndinoda kuva newe nguva nenguva, moyo wangu uyu uzere nerudo ndinoshuvirawo iwe nenitidanane. Ndimire pano saka uya unditore, tarira uone chikomana ungamboshore, swedera padhuzekani kuti iwe neni tigoita zvinorova. I am burning like a wildfire. Would you ignite the passion? Won't you love me? I am burning like a wildfire. So won't you love me? I am burning like a wildfire. Would you ignite the passion? Won't you love me? I am burning like a wildfire. So won't you love me? Pese pandinokuona mazwi yangu aya anoite mashoma, hana yangu iyorire sengoma, ndinosuvirawo iwe nenitidanane. Ndinindimira pano saka uya unditore, tarira uone chikomana haungamboshore, swedera padhuzekani kuti iwe neni tigoita zvinorova. I am burning like a wildfire. Would you ignite the passion? Won't you love me? I am burning like a wildfire. So won't you love me? Ndinindimire pano saka uya unditore, tarira uone chikomana haungamboshore, swedera padhuzekani kuti iwe neni tigoita zvinorova. Ndinindimira pano saka uya unditore, tarira uone chikomana haungamboshore, Swedera patuseka nikuti iwe nenitiko ita Zororo. I am burning like a wildfire. Would you ignite the passion? Won't you love me? I am burning like a wildfire. So won't you love me? I am burning like a wildfire. Burning like a wildfire. Burning like a wildfire. So won't you love me? So won't you love? So won't you love me? So won't you love?